Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 23rd, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's been a fun day for you. Hopefully you've had not just a good Sunday, but a good weekend. I know for me, it's been good, been great. Let's go ahead though and start from the top. Let's rewind back to Friday. Let's see. Friday was kind of a rough start, but I feel like we rallied. I got up, I got myself together. As I was leaving for work, though, I just really wasn't feeling too hot. I was feeling like a little bit like off balance. My equilibrium was a bit weird. My head was hurting. I was getting a little nauseous. So yeah, I just really wasn't doing good, like coming into work, and I really didn't know why. By the time I get to my first break, though, I have some peanut butter. I have some like Advil. Drink some water, and overall, I start to feel a little bit better. I start to rally. Also, on my lunch break, I treated myself to a couple of what are they called? Like these little chicken sandwiches, and those were good. I really didn't feel like I needed them, but I just kind of wanted them. And by the end of the work day, I was feeling a little bit better. So I do wind up going to the gym. Gym was good. I get in, I get out there, come home, I do a little stretch, get myself together, and then I scooter to my baby. Well, not exactly scooter, of course, but we go to Zoe's, and Friday night we were feeling conies, or at least that was what I was pushing for. So we wind up going to Gold Star, or should I say Glizzy Star. They're changing their name temporarily. I don't know, for reasons. But it was pretty good. We got conies and chili cheese fries because that was like the main reason I wanted to go. I got the standard chili cheese fry, and then Zoe got the garlic aioli fries. Which I never had before, so I got to try those. I would say they're okay, but really for me, I'm just not the biggest garlic guy. But yeah, the conies were good, extra cheesed out, and we didn't even have to ask, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, after that, we came home. We were watching some Trixie and Katya, like podcast stuff, which was nice, and then we went to bed. Post Friday night, Saturday was nice. It was a fun, busy day. Well, not busy, but we had some activities. After sleeping in a little bit, we got up in the afternoon. We wound up going to a place called Knuckles Deli, and very yummy. We both got the Italian beef, hot, wet, with some juice on the side, and essentially Italian beef sandwich loaded with peppers. And they literally like triple wrapped it, so there was like no leakage or whatever. And I gotta say, this is not a sandwich I've ever had before. It's not like me to get a sandwich that I would say is soggy, or really anything that is soggy, and let alone eat it and enjoy it. But this sandwich was good. They had like a lot of like just like hot peppers on it as well. And then the au jus that came with it was very good. Definitely very flavorful. Then we also got Cajun slaw and potato salad on the side. Both were good. I would say, honestly, the potato salad kind of was my favorite thing, low key. And then we each got these strawberry cookies that they had. I would say the strawberry cookie wasn't my favorite thing, but by the end of it, I did like it. And Zoe was just like flat out, oh, this is a good cookie. It was yummy. But yeah, it was a good meal, very solid, very yummy. And, overall the establishment was nice. It had like the deli, it had a bar, and then on the side of the bar had like this convenience store, like a little quick convenience store. I wouldn't say much. It was like almost like a convenience nook, if you will. But I thought it was very cute. Nice establishment. Then let's see. After Knuckles, we come back home. We hang out for a bit, then we go to Chameleon. Well, essentially, we're going to Northside, and we were doing Northside hangs, of course. We started Chameleon, and we get a couple slices of pizza. We get the veggie and the Bianca. The Bianca was like very interesting. I'd say that was the star slice. It had this like gremolata base, which is like this like green sauce, and then it was sausage. I think there was like might have been some pesto, a couple other things, and then there was this veggie pizza that had like eggplant, onion, also a couple other, a slew of other toppings on it. Both are very yummy. And then Zoe had not had the wings from Chameleon, so I really wanted her to try them. And we just got like a order of their hot wings, but like Chameleon style. So they're like confit. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yes, very good, very yummy. Then after that, we hit Northside Tavern, had a few drinks, and then we hit Junkers for like a little nightcap style situation, just like a quick one drink. And then we went back to the homie's crib, watched some wrestling, and then we bid it adieu, called it a night. On the way home, we stopped at a newer UDF just to kind of like see what the vibe was, and just picked up some like chips and cheese. And then Zoe had bought a German chocolate cake earlier. So we tore that up with some Halo Top ice cream, which is the first time I ever tried Halo Top ice cream. Overall, pretty good. Definitely not my favorite kind of ice cream. I get it, in terms of like, oh, it's a little bit of a healthier option, but you can still kind of like cheat on your diet or whatever, just be a little decadent. But for me, if I'm having ice cream, I want that shit to be, McNasty. I don't know. I want it to be maxed out. I want it to be as decadent as possible. I don't know. Macros be damned. But still, very good, very yummy. That's why we closed out Saturday night. Let's see, that takes us into Sunday. Sunday we slept in a good amount, but then we got up. We were kind of feeling like we wanted pretzels. I had mentioned like a burger or something, and we wound up landing on a place called By Gollies. And so we go in there, and overall, I mean, I want to say the place was okay. Definitely not the greatest, but let's see, we did get the pretzels. They were pretzel bites with some cheese, and then we had some pickle chips with ranch. Both were pretty good. And then we each got a burger. She got the bacon and cheeseburger, and then I got a black and blue burger. I don't know. I was a little bit more graceful in terms of saying like, oh, I thought the burger was like good, fine. I'm pretty easy to please in that regard with a burger. But I would definitely agree. Zoe was like, yeah, they like definitely cook the shit out of this, huh? And I'm like, yeah, the best cookery here for that. Overall, it was an okay experience. It was like giving like almost like country Applebee's though. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be going back there, but overall, it's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, we came back. We chilled a little bit more. We watched some Survivor, and then I bidded Zoe an adieu, and went to the gym. Went to Planet Fitness, and overall, it was a workout. We showed up, got it in, got it out. Then we came home. I will say I skipped my stretching. Oops a daisy. But did get my little creatine water and looked at some stories. So there we go. You were all caught up on my weekend. It was pretty good, pretty solid. Sans the Friday thing, sans, the medical stuff that we've been kind of dealing with. That's an ongoing thing. That's, I'm trying to keep that passive in the backbeat. But overall, a really good weekend. I really enjoyed myself. It was nice, obviously hanging out with Zoe. It was nice seeing the homies, kicking it. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into the news. All right. Our first story comes from the Associated Press. Carney warned about economic coercion. Now Trump is testing the Canadian Prime Minister. Mark Carney drew international attention as Canada's prime minister by warning that middle powers must resist economic coercion by more powerful countries. Now, President Donald Trump is putting that warning to the test with sweeping new tariffs that could show how much economic pain Canada can absorb. Tensions escalated late Friday when Canada walked away from negotiations after Carney concluded the United States was demanding too much in exchange for tariff relief. The U.S. imposed 50% duties Saturday on about $20 billion worth of Canadian goods, and Carney announced dollar-for-dollar retaliation beginning September 8th. We're going to hit back, Carney said. All right, so we've kind of talked about this a little bit in terms of like Carney's speech about this, which they go into in this article. There had been talk on the horizon that like, hey, this tariff shit has like resurfaced. They're at the table talking about it, but things had seemed like they had come to an amicable conclusion up until Thursday night, I think. And then, shit apparently hit the fan. Which isn't surprising, coming from any country trying to deal with the Trump administration, trying to deal with the U.S. You think you have a deal, you think you have a plan, and then next thing you know, Donald Trump throws that shit in your face, and you go, okay, I guess we don't have a plan. I guess we have to now come up with some aggressive counter or just take it. Like, we're dealing with the art of the deal here, or whatever the fuck. So it really shouldn't be that surprising. We will see how the fallout of this goes. But yeah, I'm sure this won't be good for the consumer, whether you be Canadian, whether you be American. And I'm sure there's more, spill out and blowback from that, even if you're not just, American or Canadian in this situation. But also, too, this sets the standard and the pace for other countries in upcoming, tariff negotiations. So, once again, we'll see how all that shakes out. Anyway, keeping it on the Trump administration, though, from NPR, Supreme Court allows Trump's ballroom construction to continue for now. The Supreme Court ruled Friday that President Trump can, for now, move forward with construction of his ballroom on the site of the former East Wing of the White House without needing approval from Congress. The new ballroom is estimated to cost taxpayers at least $300 million, despite the president saying repeatedly that taxpayers would not foot the bill. So, yeah, yet again, no surprise, Donald Trump lied. The ruling comes after months of back and forth between the Trump administration and the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which sued to stop the construction of the ballroom. The nonprofit organization has argued that the president must get approval from Congress to build over the East Wing, the side that held offices for the First Lady. They go into more details about the ballroom. But we'll spare the details on that. I find this to be unfortunate. Granted, I do get that, like saying, hey, if we do nothing, then construction would just stand in limbo here. So better to just, I guess, in some aspects, let's let him finish and get done with what he's saying he's trying to do. But it seems like the more you let him run with this, the more he does, the more expensive this fucking gets, and the worse it gets. So, I'd overall say that this is more of an L than anything else, but we will see how things shake out there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and trot on along. Our next story, we're taking it to the UK from ABC News. Prince Harry, 6 others ordered to pay initial $13 million in failed UK tabloid case. Prince Harry and 6 other defendants, including Elton John, Sir Elton John, put some respect on his name, Sadie Frost, and Elizabeth Hurley, have been ordered to pay nearly $13 million in an initial payment to the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. The ruling from a UK judge was published Friday, just weeks after the defendants lost their High Court privacy case against the publisher, Associated Newspapers Limited, which they had accused of unlawful information gathering. The High Court Justice Matthew Nicklin wrote in a 44-page ruling that the £9.5 million, approximately $13 million, is the first installment to cover Associated Newspapers' legal costs, with the full amount to still be determined. Associated Newspapers has previously said its legal costs in the case total more than $60 million. We've talked about this case before, so essentially it's just them getting their first, once again, their first installment of money for it. I still stand by the fact that I think that the Daily Mail, the Mail, are a very sleazy outfit. They probably did go about getting the information they got with like wiretaps and untoward means. I mean, obviously that's speculative or whatever. But at the end of the day, the party accusing them couldn't prove that in court. And that is what matters. So, it just is what it is. Let's see. But kind of closing this out, moving on and adding on a little bit of news here. There's been a lot of press, at least from the, you could say UK outlets, like the BBC or whatever. I've been hearing this like every day, just talking about how Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are moving back to the UK. Now, is that big relevant news? No, not really. I mean, when they left, I think that they more or less stepped away from their royal duties, or at least, Prince Harry or whatever, or, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But I mean, more or less, these motherfuckers still get to keep their titles. And really, even if they aren't working royal, so to speak, this is still a big deal for them, like coming back home. A lot of reasons and speculation as to why. We don't need to delve into that. But I figured, hey, if we're talking about Prince Harry in the in that lawsuit thing, we might as well talk about him coming. He's coming home. He's coming home. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, figured I'd mention that article for source's sake from the BBC. Prince Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK. So there you go. By all means, feel free to read that. All right, we are closing out with a bit of, I guess you could say, somber news. I could relish in it and be an asshole and say, "Oh, this is good news. Fuck this guy. Fuck this piece of shit." But that's not really why I'm coming to cover it. But it is relevant because once again, it's a story we've covered. But yeah, let's go ahead and close it out with our last break, and then we will close out with the story from NBC News. There you go. That's how I wanted to say it. Also unrelated, I seemingly am still having technical issues, which is frustrating. But hey, that's a bit inside baseball. Oh. All right, life of a broke blogger podcaster. All right, Sean Grayson, ex-deputy convicted of fatally shooting Sonia Macy, or I don't think it's Massey. I'm sorry. Dies, attorney says. Sean Grayson, the former Illinois sheriff's deputy, convicted of fatally shooting Sonia Massey in her home in 2024 after she called 911 to report a prowler, has died, his attorney said Sunday. Daniel Foltz, the attorney who represented Grayson during his murder trial, said he died around noon. He was 6 months into his 20-year sentence for second-degree murder. Grayson, 32, was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2023, and it had progressed to stage 4 and spread to his liver, lungs, and rectum. Another defense attorney, Mark Wyckoff, said at his sentencing in January. In July, he was denied medical release by the Illinois Prisoner Review Board. It was not immediately clear whether cancer is what caused Grayson's death. Grayson shot Macy, I'm switching back and forth, Massey, 36, after he responded to her 911 call shortly before 1 a.m., July 6, 2024. The shooting, which was captured on body camera video, set off protests and calls for justice. Grayson was convicted last year. They add a little bit of extra there, in terms of like backstory and what happened. It still fuck this guy. At the end of the day, he said, "Hey, I have a gun and you're scaring me." And instead of doing things to de-escalate the situation, he just said, "Hey, I'm going to pull out my gun and shoot you." So yeah, that was sad. That was unfortunate. Him being convicted, him going to jail, it doesn't bring Massey back, of course. Him dying doesn't bring her back. Maybe for some it does have a sense of like, hey, good riddance, you get that sense of solace and justice that like, hey, his life was also snuffed at a much young age than it should have been, you could say, what have you. But yeah, it just is what it is, and it felt relevant enough to come back and talk about the story. So I said, hey, why not? We'll close it out there. But yeah, that's it. That's all I really have for today. It's Sunday, and I don't like to shill on Sundays. So you know where to find me. You know all the usual shit I like to say. So don't worry about all that. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.